This video we'll be working on how to find where we have horizontal tangents. If you guys remember, the horizontal tangents happened at a place where we have the maximum or the minimum, or where we have like a little, I don't know, highest points or lowest points of the curves. You know what I mean, like a tippy tops and the lows. You hate it when I say that, but there we go. That's when we have the horizontal tangents. Let's get this clear. We're not trying to find a slope at a specific point. We already have a slope in this case. Here's how we know that we already have a slope, because they say it's going to have a horizontal tangent. Horizontal tangent means that our slope is going to equal 0. So we already know our slope. However, what we're trying to find is where is our slopes going to equal 0. Okay? Now, after I made it clear, since we have the slope equals 0, let's just think. We know that the derivative gives you the slope of a tangent line at every point. So we probably first need to go ahead and find the derivative first. So let's go ahead and find the derivative of this. This is 2x plus 2. We know this gives us slope at every point. However, we want the slope to be 0, and we want to know where that would be, which means we want to know at what x does this happen. So we're going to set this equals 0, which means that our x will equal -1. So by this, we mean at x equal -1, we're going to have the horizontal tangent. However, the question is about the actual point, which means we have x and y. So let's go and find the y point of the curve. So we're going to plug in the flag out what we have here. Alright, so we said this is our function right here. We said this will have a horizontal tangent at -1. And we see that here because we see that at -1, we do have a horizontal tangent right here. Okay? And I see that it's -25, but we're going to have to find a point because they want the actual point for it. Y'all see it? They know my x point is -1. They want to know where the y point would be algebraically. So let's go ahead and see if we can find that algebraically. Alright. So, our f of 1, because we want to know where it is on my curve. So I'm going to plug it into my curve. Okay. 2 times -1 minus 24. Okay, this is 1 minus 2 minus 24. Which is -25. So at x equals -1 and -25, we know that we'll have a horizontal tangent line. Good? Now let's organize our thoughts. This time we weren't finding the slope because we already had slope. We wanted to figure out where that happened. Whereas on prior problems, they gave us where it happened, and they wanted to find the slope at that point. Do we see the difference between these two? Okay. Well, let's get to part C. If you want to try this one on your own, but if not, follow along with me. So we want to figure out when this function has a horizontal slope, which means slope of 0. Once again, we're going to start by taking the derivative. So this one, we know we can't factor this to make it pretty or simplify. And there's 2 terms on my denominator, so I can't really split this one up. So we're going to go ahead and perform the low d high here. So low d high minus high below all over low. Okay. Now I know that we're going to set this entire thing equals 0, because we know the slope has to equal 0 based on our instruction. The way that I will solve this is I will go ahead and put 1 under the 0 because everything is 1 as a denominator, or that's what we at least decided. So we're going to go ahead and cross multiply, which leaves us with the entire numerator equal 0. Okay? So we can distribute this and combine like terms. However, I like to just factor things out if at all possible, because that just makes my life easier. So I know that on both terms, because there's term 1 and term 2. Here's what I mean by term 1. Here's my term 1. That's my term 2. So we have 2 terms. In both of those terms, I have 2x as a common thing, so I'm going to factor that out up front. When I do, I just have x squared plus 1 left, and minus x squared minus 3. So I'm going to organize this information. So we get 2x, and inside the bracket, we'll get just 4 equals 0, which is 8x equals 0, so my x has to be 0. So we're saying at 0 of this function, we're going to have a horizontal slope. Now, we know that x is 0, however, what will be our y? If you plug it all in here for our actual coordinate points, it'll be 0 and negative. Now let's check that. Okay, so this time, this right here is our function. Okay, we know that x equals 0 and y equals negative 3 based on what we have the horizontal tangent. As you can see, because we have a minimum there. Okay,